Did you see what Natural Lux just put down there at the last comment?
Yeah, bond was revoked because of too much money and access to run. I mean,
How much money did they want for a bond if it was too much money for Diddy to pay?
they said I think that they said it was 50 million.
Yeah, he probably well
They well,
he probably has that in properties he could have signed.
that's why they revoked his bond was because he could meet or beat the bond and run.
Yeah, they say an access to run, but when they say too much money, it's like
He got too much
he
money, is what they're
probably
saying.
yeah, but because I was gonna say he probably just two of his properties probably could have covered that.
That's why they revoked the bond. Because you think about it, if you got somebody that's got all that money that he got, right? Ain't
Mm,
no money like they
Okay,
and they
okay.
have a limit of what they can set as a bond, right? So he can meet or beat all prices that they put and then jump on somewhere and go somewhere where they can't
I
extradite him.
know he is too done.
Oh, y'all talking about Diddy? Oh, Diddy did it.
Yeah, they revoked his bond, child.
Mm-hmm.
Mm, mm,
Diddy
mm.
about to go down just like I believe I can fly.
Yeah, I know Natural Looks. That's why I'm like, I bet they did say it was. There's even if they set it at 100. I mean, whatever they set it at, he would have made it.
And then
He
all he
could.
gotta do is fly one of them places where they can't extradite you. So
Yeah, that would be the reason not to give it to him, like you guys said, because he can run. He can run in. As a matter of fact, what is he doing back in the U.S.? He should have just stayed wherever he should have went. Wherever they do, he should have stacked his money, sold off some stuff, did whatever he needed to do, and just went to a country where there's no extradition and just started living. Why would you come back to New York?
especially knowing what they got on him, child. And I'm gonna say this: I want to see who's fixing to go down with him, like they did with the Epstein thing.
Yeah.
I want to see who's fixing to go down with him because there's gonna be some implications and some stuff come out from this that we ain't never heard or have heard, but it was never confirmed or denied. You get what I'm saying? Like we didn't have no proof of nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, when I was growing up, there were always rumors about R. Kelly and Diddy.
Mm-hmm.
Always rumors. But what could you do? You were young. You still liked the music, even though R. Kelly, was married to Aaliyah. Granted, there's this big cover up. No, 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 it didn't happen. You heard it. I believed it. Me and all my friends believed it. I mean, you just
Mm-hmm.
listen to the lyrics of the songs that he wrote for Aaliyah and that he sang. You
Age ain't
know,
nothing but a number.
yeah, all that, but when you're young, Aaliyah was the bomb. You know what I'm saying? I absolutely loved her music. She was like people's Beyonce. She was, back in the day, that's who I liked. And that's how popular she was. And so the adults weren't doing anything about it. And when you're a kid, if something was really, really wrong, the police would get them. You know what I mean? So, and
They
we
had people
and
bringing their children to him.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
They knew
Don't
what was up.
exactly. And as far as Diddy, Usher's mom gave him over to Diddy when he was a child, basically, so he could groom him into being a great entertainer. And if you notice, Usher found Justin Bieber.
Mm-hmm.
Justin Bieber quit the music industry and became a Christian. He doesn't want. You see what I'm saying? There's weird stuff.
Probably because all the daggone pedophiles. And
Yeah,
here's the charges right here.
go ahead,
Let me
journalist.
mute up, child.
Yeah,
Hold on, let me mute too.
It alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, In March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs' residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs' electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
And like they said, his bond was revoked. And like they said, he's a billionaire. He can afford that and much more.
Now, did they say it was men or men and women?
It was men and women. Yeah, remember every time we had discussed it? Well, you might not have been here sometimes, but yeah, young men and women.
Mm, okay. And I bet you not there was not one female entertainer
Remember
or
the shit with Cuba?
okay.
You remember that dude who was on all those interviews that was his ex bodyguard? Y'all think he gonna be in on it, or he gonna be a witness, or is he gonna be a defendant?
I don't know, but y'all remember that shit with Cuba, right? Remember the young producer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that shit happened. He alleged that it happened on one of it was like a boat or a yacht or something like that. And yeah, he was one of the 5 or one of the 6 earlier this year, along with Cassie. Yep, who was pressing charges on him.
Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
and
Freak.
I still think that and this is my personal opinion, me, not to Hood Tables channel, me, I really personally believe, allegedly, that he had something to do with Tupac being unalive and possibly Biggie, even though he claims that's his best friend. I don't think that he's capable of having a friend, let alone a best friend. And I think that maybe Biggie was wanting more of his own money that he was making for Bad Boy. And I think that there was possibly he wanted to leave and maybe start his own record label, and either or and or both or whatever. It's my personal opinion. I think he could have unalived Biggie too, but I really think that he was behind Pac and
I
because
think both of them too, for you. Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think
Wait,
that he does that kind of stuff. He did that kind of stuff allegedly.
I just wish somebody would, even if they don't want to be the one to come out and say this will happen, but drop something. Leave a trail, leave some hints, because we keep having all these little hints throughout the years, and nobody still has been, done time for either one of those crimes. And I think that is so close, centered around Diddy. I truly believe, like you said, I think it really has something to do with him.
Well, they arrested
It's sad.
someone in the Pac murder,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean murder. I'm sorry,
That's okay.
unaliving. But I don't think he acted alone. I'm not even really sure if he's the one, but if he is, he definitely didn't act alone. And because he was a gang member, he's not just going, somebody had to pay them for
well,
it. It.
um, y'all know that in the Pac thing, it was actually that dude's little cousin that actually pulled the trigger, right? And he ain't
That's
here with us no more. But
exactly.
some people say that there was a hit included, on Pac, and that's why they really went after him. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, who put out that hit? And then Biggie was fixing to leave him and take
That's
his
what I said.
catalog.
Yeah. See, and he didn't want that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
He,
Mm-hmm.
because Biggie had Lil Kim. He had what's the light skinned girl he ended up marrying?
Faith Evans.
Faith Evans. He had his crew. And he probably had a lot of people. He was probably going to take a lot of people, and if people, because let's face it, Diddy would get a group, he let them do one album, and then he drop them because they would want their money. You know what I'm saying? And he was notorious for just unethical practices, allegedly. And so there were probably a lot of people that would have left with to go with Biggie, or a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? The rap game on the East Coast at that time was basically, run by Diddy. And what was the other guy that was married to the Asian lady? Between those two, and then Jay-Z got in it. But anyway, it's a shame. If he was doing all this stuff, he deserves everything he gets and more. And so do all his cohorts. And the only one thanking him obviously should be the baby oil business. And I'll go on mute. Because anytime you use 1,000 bottles of baby oil,
I know that's a lot. Well, child. Anyway, okay. So here's the one I was telling you about, Corios. Just in case anybody else didn't hear it, it's only like 2 minutes long.
okay.
All right, I'm going on mute.
From out west, as we've been on the air, we're hearing for the first time from a rep for Diddy, Sean Combs. Remember, after the feds raided his houses in California and in Florida, we brought it to you as breaking news on this show 24 hours ago with those live aerials at the time. Well, now those reps for Combs say that this was, and I'm quoting here, a gross use of military level force, and that Diddy is innocent. Remember, just the last couple of minutes, too, we're learning that the feds apparently found guns at the homes of Combs, according to 3 sources familiar with the matter. Diddy is now at the center of this federal investigation, with multiple people being interviewed by federal officials in New York related to allegations of sex trafficking, assault, and more against the rapper, according to what sources tell NBC. And that says NBC is learning exclusively that the music producer accusing Diddy of sexual assault and harassment is also accusing actor Cuba Gooding Jr. This producer filed the original lawsuit last month, accusing Combs of forcing him to find sex workers and pressuring him into doing sexual things with them. Now, he's saying Gooding groped and fondled him while they were on Combs' yacht. No comment from Gooding's reps yet. Dana Griffin is joining us now, but tell us more about what Diddy's reps are saying about all of this here.
Yeah, Hallie, they just released a statement within the last hour. I'm going to read parts of it. They call this a gross overuse of military level force. They go on to say that there is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. In the suit, he claims that Mr. Jones
Jr. as well. Important to note that Gooding has not been charged with any crime. Talk us through some of that.
Yeah. So this producer, Rodney Jones, amended his lawsuit to now say that Cuba Gooding Jr., according to the suit, groped him while he was on a yacht in 2023 with Diddy in the Virgin Islands. And I want to read part of that as well. In the suit, he claims that Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. He also alleges that he rejected Mr. Gooding's advances and that Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. Now, this suit has not set a specific amount of damages, but this producer says that he worked on Diddy's latest album, which was released in 2023. It also was nominated for a Grammy. So we have reached out to both representatives for Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr. on these latest allegations, and we have yet to hear back.
Shut the front door. Will you?
Yes, we reported on this when it first happened. This was like right after the Cassie shit and right after his home got raided. Then that's when Rodney Jones came out.
Well, Natural Lux Diva wants to know, what is the baby oil for?
See, you know what that baby oil for?
It's for dryness. It's for dryness, Natural Lux, and you use your imagination.
It's for slipping and sliding.
Yeah. But Cuba Gooding Jr., he would come down south to vacation and to do pieces of a movie, like they might want to use your house or something like that, right? And all he did, they say he would stay at the W Hotel, and he would get drunk, and there would be women in and out of him and his friend's room. And they were particular ladies, but they, that we know of now, they were ladies. But he was always getting in trouble. Whenever he come to town, there would always be a little news something about him being drunk in a bar, by accusations of groping. But that was right after the Academy Award. And so I think that the industry was really behind him and covered up a lot of stuff because it was right at the height of his popularity. But whenever he came to town, there was always some scuttlebutt that he was in town. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Always,
Yeah,
always.
I had heard rumors about Cuba over the years, but like
Yeah.
somebody has said in the chat, I think it was Natural. Trust and believe there are so many people who did these things and got away with it, and that we do believe. Natural, but they always try to compare the white with the black too. We all know that, right?
What?
And so a lot of times in our community, they'll say things like, "Oh my God, well they didn't get that one, or they didn't get that one, or they didn't get that." And I even heard somebody recently, here locally, talking about Diddy. Like, well, until they start arresting all the priests, and until they start arresting all the, and I always look at that like, I get it, I understand. But so you're wanting somebody to stay on the streets because they didn't arrest somebody else, somebody who's abusing people, younger, older, boy, girl, I mean, like kills. Like, can we just
I,
advocate to get
I,
them all off the street and
I,
not this one for that one or that? I'm like,
right.
they're all bad.
I feel them. I get what they're saying, but I'm like you. Since y'all guys have focused in on Diddy and found that he's not guilty until he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But since they have all this, they're go ahead and work on him. But I do see what they're saying. Hollywood is owned by white men. You
And
know
owned
what
by
I'm saying?
perverse
And
predators.
I'm sure that if Diddy's doing it, they're doing it too. So
Yep.
I get what they're saying. The scope and the investigations aren't equal. If you guys are going to get Diddy, that's like Elon Musk. He
Mm-hmm.
put on his, Trump for the second time assassination attempt. Elon Musk is going to put on his social media. Why haven't they went after Kamala and Biden? You
Mm-hmm.
see what I'm saying? It's like
Mm-hmm.
you want them to get, it's just, do you understand what I'm saying?
Well, see, the thing I wish would happen, and it's not going to happen, right? Even in a neighborhood, like I grew up in the hood, like a lot of people, but it don't matter really where you grow up. You can grow up in Las Vegas. You can grow up in the most expensive city, Chicago or wherever. Um, there's always predators. There's always that one person in your family. There's always that one friend, that one neighbor down the street. Until people start coming forward and actually telling on each and every one of those,
Exactly.
then we can't just say, well, okay, they are 111 girls underage, but don't throw him in jail unless you throw that one in jail. Like,
Right. Yeah.
it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Like,
Right.
some of these people, I can't believe, especially the ones that have children, especially the ones that have little children, like, or children who are aspiring to be musicians or in the entertainment and movie industry. And like, come on now, this could be your fucking child.
Yeah.
So
And
if you say, yeah, they did mine, but don't arrest them for mine until you arrest them for, see, it wouldn't be the same way.
yeah. And that's why the black community was so shocked. And I'm still shocked that they got Harvey Weinstein. You see what I'm saying? Because I mean, he's powerful. He wielded extreme power in Hollywood, actually in the entertainment industry as a whole.
As a
So
whole,
it was
yeah.
very shocking to us that they actually went after him and convicted him. You
Yeah,
know,
because for me, it wasn't shopping as in our community, but it was like you said, as a whole. Because I knew him, but I don't know. We know some of these people, but we don't really know them.
hmm
So that's how it was for me. I was like, Harvey, what? You mean the guy who? Oh, really?
right, right. Especially when they've gotten Bill Cosby,
Yeah.
which they should have if he was guilty. When if he was found guilty. R. Kelly, he was found guilty. You know what I'm saying?
That
And
one who unalived himself.
yes, oh
Mm-hmm.
yeah, him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, him. But it's like, but they stopped when it came to the Queen's son. You know what I'm saying? So that's
Mm-hmm.
still, people still think he might have been unalived in jail, but it's just very shocking. And so I agree with you. If you did it, if they think you're a flight risk, just like anybody else, they need to hold your ass down. You
But we
should.
have to rely on these people too, Corio. It's like, okay, we know what happens. Okay, you say something, you
Mhm.
blow a whistle. What happens? Their career is over.
Yeah,
Ain't nobody gonna hire you. Ain't nobody gonna interview.
yeah,
Ain't nobody like your career is over. That's
right.
what they do to these people.
And that's what I'm saying. That's why when you look at Bad Boys, who really had a long career? You understand what I'm saying? No one. They might, if they were lucky, they did 2 albums. And as quiet as a skip, I think that's why Mary J left Bad Boys. I think I think she was seeing things that she didn't like. She didn't trust him. She didn't trust him with her career. And I think, and plus, Jodeci. But anyway, I think that's why she left. I
Mm-hmm.
think she looked at Diddy and what was going on, and she was like, I'm out of here.
Man, if these walls could talk, see, we need somebody like a Mary J. You know what I
We
mean?
might. Hey, Silky.
That's what
We
we need,
might.
somebody like a Mary J. Because the thing is, these walls will not come down until okay. Remember the one who made the allegations, but he didn't say the allegations. You know, that light skinned one everybody think was Tyler Perry. You
Oh,
remember?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And
Yeah.
he literally waited until he got so far up in his career to talk because he said he knew if he was to say something at the
Yeah,
beginning of the career, his
yeah,
career
but
would be over.
yeah, but did he really talk? No, he didn't name
Well, he
names.
didn't. He didn't. He didn't really say no. And that's another thing.
You
Did he
know,
ever
so
come back and say anything?
no, so I don't think he really talked. You know what I'm using air quotes. I don't think he really talked. I mean, he could be, that could have been a book. He could have been reading from the book as far as, information he gave. Okay, yeah, we understand that people in Hollywood are freaky and weird and like weird sex. And
Oh yeah, and they like little kids,
yeah, and if you're not gonna put a name on it, what good does that do everybody? Because they're not going to go to jail for it.
right? You got to put a name on it, and we need
Right.
some of these bigger, more established A gamers, like
That's what I'm saying. Because when you don't put a name on it, but you're saying these are predators, you're allowing other people to be preyed upon. So I don't have any respect for that. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, but what do y'all think about this? You know how R. Kelly, we're gonna wrap this up in a minute because we've been girl 5 hours.
Oh, Silky, feel better.
Hey Silky Black, I do hope you feel better.
Yeah.
Thanks, I really do. But
But
yeah,
go
we're gonna
ahead.
get out of here. I'm trying to give it no more than 15 minutes, y'all. But
Uh-huh.
Charlie, both of y'all, how do y'all feel about the one thing I always said about R. Kelly was I feel like he shouldn't be in there alone. There is no way that you could arrest somebody with that type of corrupt empire with all that help, like his assistants flying little girls out, young girls, whatever, flying them in and out, buying their tickets, putting them up in hotels, locking them in bedrooms. Like, why is he the only one in there? And if Diddy is done the same way, it's like, why are we letting all these other people? You know what these people gonna do? Once they leave the R. Kellys and leave the Diddy's, they're going to go work for somebody else. They're going to say, this is who I used to work for. This is my background. This is my, I did this for them, that for that. They just going to go to the next, you know what I mean? And I feel like they should arrest like at least 20, 30, 50 people, probably more, from these type of empires. Because they didn't do it by themselves. Just like they just said about Diddy, that guy on the stand. He said, not the stand, but, he said they didn't do it. He didn't do it by himself. He had help. So why aren't they locked up?
Because in R. Kelly's instance, it was just him. Does that make sense? And so they probably used the people surrounding him. They probably gave them, I'm not for sure because I didn't follow it that closely, but they probably gave them immunity to, to be witnesses. They
But
probably,
it wasn't just him.
but what I'm saying is those same people you're talking about, they may have given them immunity so they testify against him. Now it sounds like with Diddy, it was a whole bunch of people, and they got a whole bunch of people on video. So, they may be able to prosecute. He said they were going to be prosecuting many people. But for R. Kelly, my opinion, it was just him, and his circle was tight, and so they probably needed those very few people that were in his tight circle to testify, and they probably gave him immunity. I'm just guessing. That's my guess.
And you know what else probably might work too?
What?
And then we'll let Charlie chime in. If these big wigs that we are arresting would just go down the line, even if it meant like them getting backlash, because the thing is, they doing a lot of shit, right? But they are surrounded by a whole bunch of other people who's doing the same shit. I really believe that there's these undergrounds all through the celebrities, all through the entertainment, the music industry. These little kids who were raised and groomed up in the music, and a lot of them come out crazy, strung out on drugs with these horror stories of what happened to them. We need these big wigs to go down the line. Okay, they were involved. And hell, shit, he never know. You might end up like R. Kelly got what, like 30, 40? Might end up with only maybe, I don't know, 5 or 10 or something like that. But they scared to snitch. But anyway, Charlie, what you think, girl? And hey, VS Boo, hey, babe.
I'm gonna say this. We fixing to see some stuff. Like I know they're gonna go after mostly his personal assistants, his bodyguards, all those people close to him. But I think it's also gonna bring out, because they're gonna have to be witnesses. They're gonna have to turn state on him. Like some of these people who was in the places with him, like at the parties, they're gonna have to become witnesses. And once that comes into play, we're gonna be able to see who was in those rooms, if you get what I mean. Like people who witnessed these situations or was there, they may have even been a part of some of it, but they get to be witnesses. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm talking about celebrities and stuff.
I think if it's celebrities, they're going to go to jail. They're going to use his staff to turn. But I think if there's stars that were like, if they call a star in there, with his ass up in the air on the downstroke, I think that they're going to be charged too. I don't think they're going to let the stars off easy, or the recording people off easy. Does that make sense?
I get what you're saying, because those other people are just citizens, right? And it would, to make an example of someone, right? Who better to use than someone with a name that is known versus someone who you don't know?
Maybe.
We just a pseudo child, ain't we?
Oh, it's going.
I just know they is feeling it. Like, could you imagine? Okay, let me see. First of all, what they did, they know is wrong, right? They absolutely know is wrong. But to go, that's just like somebody who, I don't know, let's say somebody who used to steal car radios back in the day, or somebody who breaks in somebody's house and over again, somebody who's a shoplifter, and they just do it over and over again. They just think they'll never get caught. I'm just so good at this. I'm so good at this. And then they finally get caught. But this is like on a greater scale to this. But still, that feeling of I'm doing this shit for all these years. Ain't nobody like everybody knows what the fuck you're doing. It ain't nobody that you know that's why these motherfuckers think they so powerful. You know what I mean? They are powerful, but you know what I mean in their head.
Yeah.
They just think they are God.
Yeah.
I'm doing all this corrupt, evil shit, and ain't nobody told on me.
Yeah.
So they don't ever change. Like all the time. How many times do they say R. Kelly had a chance to stop?
Oh God, through the year. I mean, imagine from the time he married illegally.
Aaliyah, right?
Yeah, he had a career after that for what, 20 years or more?
Like 30 some years. Yeah.
He could have stopped any time. I mean, think about how many years we've heard about the white parties. I'm sure that's where Diddy probably started.
Yep.
Because he had white parties when he was young in his career.
They said it started when he was young, like really young.
Mm-hmm. I believe it. But yeah, so I'm getting ready I'm gonna have to take this doggy out.
Yeah, I'm about to get off of here.
But can you end it with that news, the black guy that was giving all the information? Because in the beginning it was kind of crunchy.
Oh yeah, I could do that. You want me to play it?
Yeah.
Could you giving out all the details of the charges?
Do you mind, Charlie?
Oh, I don't mind. Love y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and drop down back to the
drop down for. We might have a little something. I might have not heard something.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, let me find the website.
Okay. Was it crunchy to you, Charlie?
I thought it sounded pretty good.
It was a little crunchy for me too.
Okay, so it wasn't just me. Okay.
I thought it was just either the video or my shit.
It might be. I thought it was my stuff. It might be the video, but go ahead.
Okay. Hold on, y'all. Okay. And welcome everybody in the chat. I know we've been on here for a minute. Thank you to all the people who's been for the entire time.
Is there anybody left? Okay.
Yeah, still people in the chat. And VS just popped in. Shout out to VS.
Okay.
Hey, Corio, what website? Hold on, let's see.
I don't remember. Because he was going over some stuff. He said, didn't he say somebody was fingering somebody's booty? Girl.
What did you say, Corio? What?
Did he say something? But what? No, that was the guy saying Cuba Gooding Jr. diddled in his butthole. Okay.
No.
Yes, he did, didn't he, Charlie? Didn't that know what that said?
Well, I know I heard stuff about some lube and some baby oil.
Yeah, I mean, just with Hood Table showed us, it said Cuba Gooding Jr. was diddling in his butthole. Show it again. Go over that article again about that dude. And Cuba Gooding Jr. with it. It said he diddled in his booty hole. Now
the way you said it, Corio, though, I'm over here trying not to bust out laughing.
How would I make that up? My mind doesn't go to. I mean, I'm heterosexual, so it would go towards the front, like a dude diddling a woman in the front. This specifically said he doodled his booty hole. Are you laughing because I keep saying booty hole?
It's the way you're. It's just.
Oh, Charlie, I swear that's what it said. What, am I the only one? Did anybody else in the chat hear that? Read that?
It must have been the crunchy part because I didn't remember that.
No, it was during when you was talking about when you was they were putting the remember the second news story, and they were putting up like the direct quotes in white, like typed it out what that dude had said.
Oh, you talking about Rod Jones, that one with Cuba Gooding.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Rod Jones said Cuba Gooding diddled him in his booty hole.
No, that's not funny. It's just the way you say it. Yeah, I'm gonna blame it on the way you say it. That's why I'm laughing. You
Bye-bye, natural look.
He diddled and doodled in his
booty hole. What else?
Okay, hold on. I found the video. Hold up, y'all. Hold Let's
I
not that
know I'm
video.
not crazy.
Okay, let me play this video for Corio because in the beginning, they said it was a little
Okay.
probably staticky or crunchy or something
Okay.
like that.
Okay.
So, and then if you want, we could do the doodle booty thing if you want. I don't know.
Because Charlie think I'm crazy. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay, here we go, y'all. Let me go on mute.
Today, I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. As alleged in the indictment, to carry out this conduct, Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. Let me say a little bit more about the charges. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines. Combs allegedly planned and controlled the sex performances, which he called freak-offs, and he often electronically recorded them. The freak-offs sometimes lasted days at a time, involved multiple commercial sex workers, and often involved a variety of narcotics, such as ketamine, ecstasy, and GHB, which Combs distributed to the victims to keep them obedient and compliant. As alleged, when Combs didn't get his way, he was violent, and he subjected victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse so that they would participate in the freak-offs, and that Combs hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims, at times by their hair. On one occasion in March of 2016, that conduct was captured on video and later reported in the media. Specifically, Combs kicked, dragged, and threw a vase at a victim in a Los Angeles hotel when the victim was attempting to flee. As alleged, these assaults often resulted in injuries to the victims, which took days or weeks to heal. In addition to the violence, the indictment alleges that Combs threatened and coerced victims to get them to participate in the freak-offs. He used the embarrassing and sensitive recordings he made of the freak-offs as collateral against the victims. And the indictment alleges that he maintained control over the victims in several ways, including by giving them drugs, by giving and threatening to take away financial support or housing, by promising them career opportunities, by monitoring their whereabouts, and even by dictating their physical appearance. Because of all of this, the indictment alleges that the victims did not believe they could refuse Combs without risking their security or facing more abuse. The indictment also alleges other acts of violence undertaken by Combs and others, including violence against witnesses to his abuse, kidnapping, and arson. The indictment alleges that on more than one occasion, Combs carried or brandished firearms to intimidate and threaten victims and witnesses. Now, Combs did not do this all on his own. As I mentioned, Combs has been charged with RICO conspiracy. He used his business and employees of that business and other close associates to get his way. Those individuals allegedly included high-ranking supervisors in the business, personal assistants, security staff, and household staff. The indictment alleges that those individuals facilitated the freak-offs. They booked the hotel rooms and stocked them with the supplies, including drugs, baby oil, personal lubricant, extra linens, and lighting. When the hotel rooms got damaged, they helped clean it up. They arranged for victims and commercial sex workers to travel for the freak-offs, and they delivered large quantities of cash to Combs to pay for the commercial sex workers. The indictment also alleges that they helped Combs cover up his crimes. During the March 2016 incident at the LA hotel that I mentioned earlier, a member of the hotel security staff intervened, and Combs attempted to bribe the staff member with a stack of cash to make sure that what happened was kept quiet. And as the indictment alleges, in late 2023, after public allegations were made about Combs's crimes, he and others pressured witnesses and victims to stay silent, including by making phone calls to witnesses and victims and giving them a false narrative of what they had experienced. And as alleged, Combs used others to help conceal his abuse by monitoring and preventing victims from leaving a location in order to hide their injuries, or by locating and contacting a victim who had attempted to flee. As part of this investigation, in March of this year, special agents from HSI executed search warrants at Combs's residences in Miami and Los Angeles. They also executed a warrant for Combs's electronic devices. During those searches, agents seized evidence of the crimes charged in this indictment. They seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 defaced AR-15s and a large capacity drum magazine. They also seized evidence of the freak-offs, electronic devices that contain images and videos of the freak-offs with multiple victims. And they seized cases and cases of the kinds of personal lubricant and baby oil that Combs' staff allegedly used to stock hotel rooms for the freak-offs, more than 1,000 bottles altogether.
1,000 bottles?
I think
I
Cora was
told you.
talking about the diddling the booty part. Was that other video?
Was
that you
the other?
Oh, I
Yeah.
can play that one. That's the 2-minute video. Y'all want me to play that?
But wait, you heard he said men. He didn't say men and women, right? He said men. So, but go ahead. So that Diddy denied for years that he was gay or bisexual. They specifically said bringing men in. They didn't.
And a lot of people have said that he like men and women, just like they said about what's the law?
Yeah, they've been saying that about a lot, and a lot of people said that Magic Johnson was bisexual and was at Diddy's parties all the time. But go ahead.
Oh Lord,
That's
baby
probably not
Jesus.
what happened, but yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go on mute. This is just wow. Just admit who you are. Be who you are so you don't hurt other people. Go ahead. This is so sad.
Okay, I'm gonna bring up the other one. You said the booty duty or
Diddling in the booty hole.
oh, I gotta hear this, Corio.
Go ahead. Read it. Go ahead.
Okay,
Or
okay. I'm going on mute.
Maybe I'm hallucinating.
For Diddy, Sean Combs, here from out west. As we've been on the air, we're hearing for the first time from a rep for Diddy, Sean Combs. Remember, after the feds raided his houses in California and in Florida, we brought it to you as breaking news on this show 24 hours ago with those live aerials at the time. Well, now, as actor Cuba Gooding Jr. This harassment is says NBC is the rapper, according to its sources tell NBC. And that says NBC is learning exclusively that the music producer accusing Diddy of sexual assault and harassment is also accusing actor Cuba Gooding Jr. This producer filed the original lawsuit last month.
It says of touching his anus
and pressuring him into doing sexual things with them. Now, he's saying Gooding groped and fondled him while they were on Combs' yacht. No comment from Gooding's reps yet. Dana Griffin is joining us now, but tell us more about what Diddy's reps are saying about all of this.
The buttocks too.
Yeah, Howard, they just released a statement within the last hour.
Matter. Diddy is now at the center of this federal investigation, with multiple people being interviewed by federal officials in New York related to allegations of sex trafficking, assault, and more against the rapper, according to its sources tell NBC. And that says NBC is learning exclusively that the music producer accusing Diddy of sexual assault and harassment is also accusing actor Cuba Gooding Jr. This producer filed the original lawsuit last month, accusing Combs of forcing him to find sex workers and pressuring him into doing sexual things with them. Now, he's saying Gooding groped and fondled him while they were on Combs' yacht. No comment from Gooding's reps yet. Dana Griffin is joining us now, but tell us more about what Diddy's reps are saying about all of this here.
Yeah, Hallie, they just released a statement within the last hour. I'm going to read parts of it. They call this a gross overuse of military level force. They go on to say that there is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. It also mentions they call this an unprecedented ambush, and also note that this is a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs. And it wraps up saying that Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Hallie?
What about this lawsuit from the music producer now accusing not just Combs, but Cuba Gooding Jr. as well? Important to note that Gooding has not been charged with any crime. Talk us through some of that.
Yeah. So this producer, Rodney Jones, amended his lawsuit to now say that Cuba Gooding Jr., according to the suit, groped him while he was on a yacht in 2023 with Diddy in the Virgin Islands. And I want to read part of that as well. In the suit, he claims that Mr. Jones believes Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. He also alleges that he rejected Mr. Gooding's advances and that Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. Now, this suit has not set a specific amount of damages, but this producer says that he worked on Diddy's latest album, which was released in 2023. It also was nominated for a Grammy. So we have reached out to both representatives for Diddy and Cuba Gooding Jr. on these latest allegations, and we have yet to hear back.
Hey, I'm Hallie, and tonight we are learning in just the last few minutes.
Okay.
Okay, you was right, girl.
Okay.
She read closer than we did. That's what it was.
I wasn't even looking at the documents.
I had this phone all up to my nose because I don't see well, so I had it up. I'm like, does that say diddling the booty? And so Natural Luck said he did both anus and groping. I'm done with Natural
Can
Luck.
you imagine somebody really trying to get in back there, another man, and you a straight man, and Diddy just standing there watching?
Right, and looking at you
it
like
probably was recording, because ain't that what Kels used to do? I'm sure Diddy probably got all kind of footage.
Imagine how Cuba Gooding Jr. was so used through the years of that stuff being okay because Diddy would bring in males that he didn't even think twice about doing it. And when the guy probably said no, thank you, or was trying to move away,
what up, Pastor?
he just kept on doing it. He was like, shoot, I'm feeling the butt. Let me go on down the swim trucks and, diddle a little bit.
But see, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think a lot of the people, like, why a lot of people don't come forward when they know these big wigs is doing these type of parties and shit is because they enjoy. It's kind of like what they say about that Beyonce and Jay-Z shit. What is it called? The Illuminati? I'm not saying it's Illuminati, but I'm saying they have like this secret society where you could have a wife and 10 kids and on TV and everybody think you're straight and married and faithful to your wife, but behind closed doors, you fucking like 15 niggas a night.
That's why they call it Holly weird.
That's why they don't snitch on these big ones, because they enjoy these societies where they can get in there and do whatever.
I don't know if it's societies. I think it's a big group. I think it's a big group of them, but I don't think.
Well, I might be saying society, but basically what I'm saying is like Diddy. I would call that a society. I would call that an organization.
It's an organization. Yeah, it's an organization.
Yeah.
That's why they're charging him on RICO. RICO is what they used to take down the mob. You know what I'm saying? And so that to me, that means that they've had a big net out there and they're going to capture a lot of people. And it's a shame that I think the majority of them are going to be these quote unquote straight black males in the music industry.
The ones that we all crushing over as women. And look what Natural said. I almost forgot about that. And I love me some Terry Crews. When he was fondled by that man,
yes,
he just grabbed his shit. That white man just grabbed his shit.
His junk.
And he said, I don't know. Like in a normal situation, somebody he could have killed that man.
Yeah.
He's so big and strong, he could have broke him in half.
Yeah.
But he said if my wife was there and other things was going, it was a big party, and he didn't
want to lose his career. It's like you said earlier. You wonder if he'd have yelled out or punched that dude in the face. That good dude could have been a big time director, producer, something like that. It'll ruin you because you gotta remember
society, Corio. If he would have hit him or whatever, even though he pulled his junk in that society or organization, they probably like, and
It's the industry. I like to say
industry.
it was the
It would have been like,
industry
and
party.
so
Oh,
what? He grab your
and it
shit.
would have ruined his career too, because
Yeah.
if a lot of them are doing it, they they don't want somebody yelling and screaming out in a party. He grabbed
Right,
my
just take that shit. Take it.
Right.
Take one for the team.
Right. Hey, Dr. Pastor Jay Wilson.
Yeah, what up,
But-
Pastor? I heard you had some good shit on your show the other day that
Oh,
involved.
Pastor, I
What's
wish
her
you would
name?
come. I wish you would come up here and talk about Queen Tulsa, but he probably's gone by now.
I know, and I said we'd be on here 15 moments. Y'all trying to get, we ain't living, y'all. This is not living.
Yeah, I know. I gotta go. Go.
Trust me, I would love for him to
Thank
jump
you.
over here. Maybe we can come back live tomorrow. Charlie, I'll be there in the morning. But like I said, Charlie, that other stuff, I don't know nothing about that shit.
But when I talk about it, you could just skip over it. We could skip to the next topic.
Can you just do like B sector shit and then do they sector shit?
Well, maybe what I'll do is I'll do they sector stuff first, because some of it's real short.
And then I come in. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because it's real short anyway. It ain't that long.
Yeah, just send me the link on IG and I'll just come in as soon as you give me the code word.
Code word be like blue.
Code word.
I don't know. We gotta make something up.
Make it beef. Make the code
beef.
word beef. So that means y'all going to start beef sector stuff.
Yeah, the code word is beef.
Okay,
now,
I'll tell you the code
Charlie,
word.
here you go. Now we gonna talk about that beef.
Yeah. Well, y'all have a good evening. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for joining me. It's so good. I love being
y'all
with
both.
you guys.
Love you, Choreo.
All right.